there's so many creators now, and like you mentioned, they're uploading hundreds of hours, a minute kind of thing. How does one stand out? Like, as an example, if I wanted to do a bow tie video, there's probably like, I don't know, maybe hundreds, maybe more on YouTube. What sort of advice would you give a creator who's trying to think through his or her content strategy and how to maximize their chances of breaking through?
Right. So I would go back to, how we think about, delivering the right videos to people is we tend to follow the audience. So we kind of put ourselves in the shoes of the viewers and think about, well, what would they want? And if there's already hundreds of bow tie videos, then does the audience want another bow tie video? I often think about this in the same way I would think about any kind of business strategy as well. Like if you're going to open up a restaurant in San Francisco and there's already 200 pizza restaurants, what would your strategy be for opening a new restaurant? Would you just open yet another pizza restaurant? If so, how would you be successful? Well, the way that you might be successful is by doing something different that isn't already being addressed by everyone else. So I would be thinking about, well, is there actually something around how to tie a bow tie that hasn't been covered? Because if there isn't, you're probably, why would the viewers want to watch your video versus another video? So if I were opening a restaurant in San Francisco, I might think about, well, maybe protein bowls. Maybe that's a new type of food that people might be interested in. I don't know. I'm personally interested in that, but maybe there's more room in the market for something like that than yet another pizza restaurant. So, sometimes you want to be looking at the trends to kind of get a sense of what people like. Yeah. People love pizza. And there may be a new trend, but you also have to think about the competition and how much room there is, and how do you position yourself relative to all the other videos that are there. Like if you're doing one on, I was talking to a creator at VidCon who was asking me, I want to do a sunscreen video. How do I get to the top of the search results on sunscreen? And I was like, well, we have a lot of great sunscreen videos already. Why should your video be at the top of the search results? Is it going to be the best one? Is it going to be better than all these ones we already have? Or, maybe there's a different way you could look at this, like maybe no one has done a video about sunscreens for various skin tones. Or, and I haven't researched sunscreens to know what the best thing is for the audience, but I would really look to find an opportunity. The opportunities are going to be there where somebody hasn't already delivered what the audience wants. So if you want to grow, you want to be the best, maybe start with something a bit more specific that hasn't been covered, and then use that to then expand into broader areas and build your reputation around a broader topic. Cool.
Speaking of documentation, I think your team worked on a Creator Academy video or lesson?
Yeah. So we've been trying to improve our communication with creators because we realized that search and discovery is sometimes a bit of a mystery. And so we recently worked on some new training material about how search and discovery works. So I think if you don't mind putting in the description of this video a link to the Creator Academy lesson that we just refreshed this past month. I encourage everybody to check that out. We have some quizzes in there to try to make it a little bit fun for you to see how well you know search and discovery. Hopefully you'll learn something by giving that a try.
Cool. And you were recently at VidCon as well, right?
Yes.
What do you think were some of the more kind of surprising questions that you got, or more thought-provoking kind of conversations you had where you took something away from it to kind of help you think about it differently?
Yeah, so when I talk to creators, it's, I'm frequently looking at this problem of connecting viewers to videos from the viewer's point of view. It's like, how do we make the viewer as happy as possible? And at places like VidCon, I often talk more to creators, and they're often looking at it from a different perspective, from their channel perspective, and thinking about, well, all the actions that they can do that might influence how they connect with the audience. There was, some of the questions we got were just things that I hadn't really considered, like someone was asking if my video doesn't have any talking in it, like how does that impact my discovery? And so
how does that impact his discovery?
It's a good question. It's not something that I had really thought about before.
Yeah.
So a lot of times these questions highlight different things that creators are trying out with and that we haven't thought of. And so it gives us new ideas for, you know, do we have all the right information in the system such that if we get this type of video in, are we going to be able to find the audience that's going to be interested in it? You know, other questions like, well, I have Spanish and English videos, and I'm trying to figure out whether I should have 2 channels or 1 channel, and what's going to work best. Usually the answer that I give to that is, you know, I usually don't have specific expertise on some of these cases, but it's the answer I usually say is, well, what is working with the audience? If you look at your data in YouTube Analytics, which I highly recommend people spend time in, do you generally find that like if you can look at your geography and see where people are watching from, is it the same audience that's watching your Spanish videos as your English videos? If it is, then probably makes sense to have it on the same channel because you're kind of, a channel is a way to program to an audience. But if you're finding that you're actually programming to 2 different audiences with the same channel, that's where you're going to probably want to think about separating them so that, for example, if somebody wants to subscribe, they can get the type of content that they want only and not the content that doesn't match. So generally just lots of questions from a different point of view than I'm used to thinking about from the viewer perspective.
So great. Sounds like it was helpful for you
always.
as well.
Oh, VidCon is always an eye-opening experience, whether it's talking to creators or seeing stars and the reactions that the fans have there. It's always exciting.
Who knows? Maybe in the next VidCon, people will recognize you and
I think it's going to be
you.
You're the Creator Insider host.
There you go. Yeah, we'll see about that one. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. I know that hopefully people will find this interview helpful, and we always encourage people to give us feedback and ask questions in the comments. And so what we'll try to do, like we do with every video, is answer as many of them as we can. And I'll definitely consult with you, Todd, where I can to make sure I say the right things and give the right information.
Great.
But everybody keep it real, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Hey Insiders, if you like that video, you should do a few things. Number 1 is you should subscribe right up there. I think it's gonna be right there. You see it?
On my face?
Yeah, like kind of near your face.
Okay.
And then you can also check out some other videos maybe around here. And then I think you told me recently that if they like and comment, that's generally a good thing. Engage with the video. It's always a good sign.
We've generally seen that people who like videos tend to keep coming back to YouTube. So
please like this video. Keep it real.